is up, Golden Gang? Welcome back to another video. My name is Dominique if you are new, and I am a second semester nursing student. And if you are not new, welcome back, Golden Bae. Thank you so much for coming back to watch another video. So as you can see from the title down below, today I'm going to be talking about a very taboo topic, a topic that not a lot of people, especially YouTubers, like to touch on. Talking about vaginal health is a very taboo topic, and when it is talked about on social media such as Instagram and Twitter, there is not a lot of accurate information. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, what is it like down there? The V, just like any other part of our body such as our gut or our skin, does have healthy bacteria, and that bacteria actually keeps everything running smoothly. So the V is acidic, and you may already know that if you've ever looked in your underwear and you see like a staining, and that is because your discharge is acidic, so it is going to kind of mess up your underwear. So if you've ever seen a little discoloration in your underwear in the lining part, it is from your discharge being acidic, and that is totally normal. Now again, the V is naturally acidic. Now what would happen if the V gets too alkaline, meaning the pH has changed? Then that's when we have problems, because that healthy bacteria can no longer operate in its environment. If the V becomes alkaline, which is the opposite of acidic, then it could lead to a lot of problems. And the reason why is because when the V is alkaline, it is allowing an overgrowth of bacteria. When you have an overgrowth of bad bacteria, then it can lead to infections such as BV, also known as bacterial vaginosis, or yeast infections, which in turn causes itching, dryness, a foul odor, and things like that. So that is what I'm going to be talking to you guys about today. I'm going to be talking to you guys about how to avoid having an overgrowth of bad bacteria, which in turn can lead to BV and yeast infections. Let's talk about discharge. What is discharge? Discharge is pretty much fluids and cells that come out of the vagina, and it is totally normal. It's actually a good thing because it is the way that your vagina is cleaning itself. The only time that you should be concerned with your discharge is when the color or the consistency changes. Now note, the consistency of your discharge will change as you progress through your menstrual cycle. For example, your discharge is probably going to look different during your ovulation cycle versus when you first get off of your menstrual cycle. So my number one tip to you guys is to definitely pay attention to your discharge throughout your cycle, just so you know you can have an idea of the consistency, the color, and the smell. This way, if a change was to occur, you would definitely be able to point it out in a heartbeat. So the next thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is BV, also known as bacterial vaginosis, and yeast infections. Now a number of things can cause these conditions. New products can cause this. New soaps, scents, sex, anything like that can cause you to have a yeast infection or bacterial vaginosis. And actually, some women are more prone to BV and yeast infections than others, as their V may be very sensitive and they cannot use any soaps at all. So the slightest thing may throw off their pH. So for my women who are more prone to BV and yeast infections, I actually found this really cool product by the name of Boric Life. This is a vaginal suppository by Boric Life. It not only prevents, but it treats BV and yeast infections as well as odors, itchiness, dryness, and irritation. What is awesome about this vaginal suppository is that it is all natural and it supports pH balance, as I mentioned to you guys earlier, with the V being acidic, and it all around supports V health. They also provide you with some applicators, which I feel like is really awesome. Here is one out of the packet. You would go ahead and insert it at the top here, and then of course insert it into the V canal, and you would push up and insert the suppository. Now when you are experiencing odor, itchiness, or irritation, dryness, anything like that, you would insert one into the V for 7 days, and be sure to wear a liner. Now you are supposed to do this at night, so you will sleep with the suppository inside. As you can tell by the name, Boric Life is made up of boric acid, which is a natural ingredient that is used by many OB/GYNs when treating BV and yeast infections. The awesome thing about this is that you can get this without a prescription on Amazon, and it is 100% safe and recommended by medical professionals. Now if you are pregnant or breastfeeding, you should not use Boric Life. Another cool product that NutraBlast offers are these pH strips. Now as I've mentioned earlier, the V is acidic, and in alkaline line conditions can cause BV and yeast infections. And this is one way that you can go ahead and test the pH in the V. Here are what the pH strips look like, and inside of here you have a whole roll of pH strips. Of course, you would go ahead and cut off a piece of the pH strip, swab the V, and compare to the chart on the front, which I feel like is super awesome because they tell you which color is normal and which color is abnormal. I feel like this is something that every girl needs just so you can see where you are. Boric Life is available on Amazon. It's not only affordable and safe, but you can also read all of the success stories in the reviews. Moving on, let's talk about cleaning the V. Now again, the V is a self-cleaning machine and she really does not need help, but I do recommend cleaning the outside of your V. No soap or any products unless it is some type of V suppository, as I've mentioned earlier, should be inserted inside of the V. With that being said, you guys should not be douching. Douching throws off your pH. My advice, and also per my OBGYN, is that you should clean the outside of your V. You can clean the labia majora and the labia minora, which are also known as the lips. However, no soap or anything should be inserted inside. I personally use the Dove white soap. I also love their sensitive skin body wash. Pretty much want to use any type of mild soap that does not have a lot of additives or perfumes and scents and things like that. The V does not need all of that. And of course, when cleaning, you can choose to either use your hands or you can use a washcloth. Now, when using a washcloth, I would highly recommend to, of course, change it out frequently and make sure you are not wiping back and forth. It should be a one-way stroke. And I'm actually going to demonstrate how you can use a washcloth for the V. This is something that I learned in CNA school when I had my female patients. So first, you want to start with your washcloth folded like so, and then you're going to fold it one more time. Then you're going to go ahead and take these two sides and fold it towards each other. Now you should have something like this. Now, when I had my female patients, we were taught to, of course, clean the outside labias in one stroke and use a different tab for each labia. So you would wipe the outside labia first and then you switch tabs. So you have a clean tab and then you would wipe the other one and keep switching tabs. You would wipe the minora, the other minora, and then you would switch and you would go to a different part of the towel and you would wipe down the center. Now, the major points when using the towel is to 1, switch tabs each time, and 2, to one stroke. Never go back and forth. While we are on the topic of cleaning, I also want to talk to you guys about wiping. When you are using the bathroom, please make sure you are wiping from front to back, meaning wiping from the V back to the anus. And the reason why is because you do not want to take bacteria from your anus and bring it up to the vagina to, of course, into the canal. Then we can have serious problems. And last but not least, I wanted to talk to you guys about odor. Now, the first thing that I want to say on the topic of odor is that your V is not going to smell like roses, and that is the #1 thing that social media portrays, is that your V is supposed to smell like roses and perfume. No. 1, because you are not supposed to have any scents up there to begin with, and 2 is because that is not realistic. The V is not going to smell like roses and perfumes and stuff like that. The main thing is that you want to make sure your V does not have a foul odor. With that being said, if you eat a well-balanced diet, and I know that is so cliche, a lot of people say eat a well-balanced diet, but that definitely plays a role in your V health. Drinking a lot of water too helps. Eating yogurt with probiotics or taking probiotic supplements also promote V health. Underwear also plays a vital role in odor. Now, first things first, you should not be reusing underwear. Once you've worn them, you should take them off and put on a fresh pair after, of course, cleaning the V. The #1 natural fiber that is beneficial to the V is cotton, only because it allows her to breathe. It is also important that you stay in dry underwear. Now, I know you guys are like, what? Stay in dry underwear? But yes, the #1 thing that you will learn in nursing school is that bacteria loves dark and moist places. So when you come from the gym or you come from the pool and stuff like that, you want to make sure you are quickly switching out of that dark, moist underwear and cleaning the V, and of course putting on a fresh pair of underwear, just so you are not providing the environment for bacteria bacteria to grow. Wearing tight underwear and clothing can also lead to problems as well, as you know that friction can bring bacteria from your anus to the V area. So you want to make sure you are wearing loose, clean underwear and clothing at all times. But you guys, that is going to go ahead and conclude today's video. I hope you really enjoyed. Make sure you go ahead and check my description box down below for the Boric Life links, and until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.